9. Forbidden Solace. Day by day, Minho struggled to hold himself together. As his life unraveled around him, one dawn, desperate to ease the suffocating weight in his chest, he wandered to a swimming pool near his home. The moment he plunged into the cold water, it felt as if all his misfortunes were, for a fleeting instant, washed away. Then it happened. Cutting through the ripples, Minho saw a woman flailing in the deep end. Her body thrashed desperately against the pull of the water, sinking faster with every moment. Without hesitation, Minho lunged toward her. He reached out, strong and sure, and pulled her into his arms. Her drenched body collapsed against his chest, and through the cold droplets clinging to her skin, he felt a startling warmth. In the lounge beside the changing rooms, she sat trembling, wrapped in a towel. Her luminous face, hair plastered wet against her cheeks, and the delicate slope of her shoulders were revealed beneath her swimsuit. "Thank you, I truly thought I was going to die." Her voice quivered, yet her gaze was strangely deep, pulling him in. Without a word, Minho handed her a cup of hot tea and nodded gently. A few days later, fate brought them together again. At the poolside cafe, she introduced herself as Eugen. Her face was bare of heavy makeup, yet an undeniable sensuality radiated from her presence. Their conversation lingered on and on. For reasons he could not name, Minho felt lighter in her company. When he unburdened his heart, his anguish, his despair, Eugen clasped his hand in silence. In that simple gesture, Minho felt a warmth he had long forgotten. On a rainy night, one thing led to another, and they found themselves at her home. Behind the softly closed door, they stood facing one another in the dimness. No words were spoken, only breath and gaze guided them closer. When her trembling fingertips brushed his chest, Minho's heart pounded as though it would break free. Loneliness and despair, pent up for so long, melted away in the heat of her touch. The room was quiet, yet their breaths grew heavier, deeper, until the silence itself seemed to pulse with them. It was a sinking hole, and yet ironically also a kind of refuge. The next morning, Minho sat alone at the edge of the bed, his head in his hands. There remained the memory of warmth. Yes, but also the weight of an unforgivable guilt. "Seo Young, mother, where am I even going?" Though sunlight poured brightly through the window, Minho's heart remained shrouded in darkness. End of chapter 9. Next chapter. Minho has tasted a fleeting solace, but the price will be a deeper misfortune yet to come. 10. The Shadow of Solace. After the night he spent with Eugen, Minho felt his heart grow lighter for the first time in a long while. Though guilt gnawed at him, her embrace had been a sanctuary, a place where he could escape the crushing weight of reality. "Minho," Eugen whispered, "why don't you just stay by my side? I'll make you forget all the pain of this world." Her words were sweet, but behind them lurked an indistinct shadow, something he could not name. A few days later, Seo Young came to Minho's home. Her demeanor was sharper, more irritable than usual. "Minho, why have you been so distant lately? You haven't been calling. Are you hiding something from me?" Minho's breath caught in his throat, but he forced a smile and replied, "Of course not. I've just had a lot on my mind." Seo Young nodded, but suspicion clouded her eyes. The following weekend, Eugen took Minho to a small gathering of her acquaintances. It was held in a dimly lit wine bar, laughter floating through the air under the soft glow of amber lights. Then, one of Eugen's friends asked casually, almost carelessly, "By the way, Eugen, are you still in touch with Seo Young these days?" Minho froze. His hands stiffened around his glass. What did you just say? Did you say Seo Young?" Eugen's face hardened. For a moment, an awkward smile flickered across her lips. "Minho, the truth is Seo Young and I used to be quite close." Minho's chest caved in, as if the very air had been knocked out from his lungs. In his mind, pieces of a puzzle clattered together into a hideous, inevitable picture. That night, Minho wandered the streets alone. His mother's cold voice, Seo Young's wavering eyes, Eugen's confession, echoes of them all clashed and collided within his skull. Why is even my refuge tied back to Seo Young? Whom am I supposed to trust? Staggering, he finally collapsed onto the sidewalk, his knees buckling beneath him. The street lights blurred and shimmered through the tears that welled in his eyes. Later that night, Eugen tried to reach him, tried to hold him back. "I understand you better than she ever could. Please stay with me." But Minho shut his eyes. Even her warmth, once a balm, now felt like nothing more than proof of another betrayal. He could almost hear it, the sound of the pillars of his life crumbling, one after another, and like Job of the scriptures, Minho sank deeper into despair, consumed by the ruins. End of chapter 10. Next chapter Minho will confront the entangled truths of Seoyoung, Yoojin, and his mother, Jungsuk. His torment rises to its breaking point. 11. The collision of tragedy. Minho staggered drunkenly through the night streets, his mind in chaos. Seoyoung, Yoojin, his mother, the caregiver Jae-yoon. From every person he had trusted, all that had returned to him were wounds and betrayal. I just want to end it all, I really want to end everything, he muttered, as he stopped before a crosswalk. Crash. Blinding headlights filled Minho's vision. The car screeched, as the driver slammed on the brakes. But it was already too late. His body lifted into the air before crashing violently against the pavement. The shriek of the horn, the screams of bystanders, and the sound of rushing footsteps echoed, as though from a great distance. The car door flung open, and a woman leapt out. Her golden hair flew wildly, her blue eyes wide with terror. A voice burst forth, tinged with a foreign accent. Oh my God, are you okay? Someone call an ambulance. With trembling hands, she cupped Minho's face, her eyes brimming with tears. Minho forced his eyes open, gazing dreamlike into hers. They were icy blue, and yet, inexplicably, there was warmth flickering within them. People crowded around, ambulance sirens wailed. Even as consciousness slipped away, Minho murmured inwardly, why must I be broken like this? And then, darkness consumed him. That night, in the hospital emergency room, the blonde woman sat trembling, her hands unsteady on her lap. She was Sophia, the daughter of a billionaire visiting Korea. Her life had always been filled with luxury and splendor, yet now, not a trace of light remained on her face. Did I ruin that man's life? Her blue eyes glistened with tears. At the end of his long chain of misfortunes, Minho had now become entangled with yet another figure. Whether this encounter would mark the beginning of salvation or lead him further down the path of ruin, no one yet knew. End of chapter 11. Next chapter, the accident overturns Minho's life once again. In the hospital, familiar faces await him, and with them, a new entanglement of fate.